I'm really an old-fashioned girl, and I like a beginning, a middle, and an end, you know. And I think that's all it is, really. It's an action story. It's like Saturday morning pictures. In fact, the filming here, from time to time, especially in the laboratory, got very like Saturday morning pictures. It was really good.
Well, I mean, the excitement to me of the film very much was in the fact that for once there wasn't, you know, something that was created by a very small group of people, which was then taken over by a sort of massive concern and sort of pulped out. But that in fact the people that originally created it and the actors had a lot to do with the, you know, creating the original role. That we've kept the sort of basic core of the original people through the various sort of transformations as the sort of monster has grown.
Here we go. Play back!
Now, I wrote it first of all for myself to while away the long winter nights when I was out of work. And I did a play at the Royal Court, the theatre upstairs, and Jim directed it. And I mentioned it to him that I was writing it. I hadn't even finished it. And he heard some of the songs and read the script that I'd got, as much as I'd got. And I just had to actually sort of round it off, resolve the whole story and round it off. And it was done at the theatre upstairs. There was no sort of hardship with it, really. It just all happened, really.
I think the two hardest things have been, well, one, the kind of extravagances, physical extravagances that I used on the stage were very theatrical ones, and I've tried in the film to make them filmic ones. I mean, that will do as a film gesture. And on the stage, one would maybe do that.
Well, you got caught your flat. Well, how about that? Well, babies, don't you panic. By the light of the night, you'll all see all right. Once more, please.
And what he's done in the music is, I think, something quite extraordinary, which is very similar to the actual plot, and that he's taken elements from many other things. He's taken sort of certain 50s elements, certain 60s elements, and put them together, but actually come out with something that's sort of completely unique.
I'm not a good musician, but I think that might be a strength because it stops you being clever, because I know a lot of musicians socially, and I know a lot of them sort of quite envy the way, I mean, not badly, but they do envy the way that I can knock out a simple tune, you know, because they are like all artists are concerned with technique, and the technique, I think, sometimes gets in the way, you know.
It's very much a musical, and a lot of the energy of the whole event is in the music. I mean, I think that it is pastiche, certainly, but I think it sort of stands on its own, too. I mean, it's beginning to more and more, which is very nice.
I'm not setting out to shock anybody, really. But then again, I never have been, but I seem to have in various other things that I've done.
The fact that Frankenstein is now wearing a corset might sort of keep them entertained long enough.
I play Frank-N-Furter, who is a kind of new variation on the mad scientist of horror films that we all know and love.
Riff Raff, my character's paranoia. I mean, everyone sort of recognises, you know, that's that, when you're going to build me a new body, master, stuff.
It is parody, but it also, I play it and think it as a kind of grisly reality. And Frank-N-Furter, as a variation on Frankenstein, is obsessed with image and the way that things look, and but I see him and play him as a kind of grisly, real freak.
I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
You've scarce been out of drag now for about close on 3 years. How sick of you are you of the part? How much now do you want to escape?
Well, it's sort of like Topsy, really. I mean, it's just growed, and one has to sort of go with it, really. I found making the film more annoying in that way than doing the play, because if you do the play, it's just 2 hours a day, and that you're actually in it doing it, and the rest of the day you're
yourself.
You're yourself. And doing the film, partly because I've never made one before, and so the work for me is total. I found it, for the first time, actually beginning to be a bit schizophrenic, in that if you spend the whole day in a pound and a half of Max Factor, at the end of the day, when you wipe it off, there's always a little bit left in the cracks.
I mean, I would like to see it get a used certificate, I suppose, as a sort of 1970s version of The Wizard of Oz.
I don't really mind what happens to it, as long as people remember it. And I always used to say, when I went to California, to LA, to watch them getting ready for the show over there was one or two of the actors that had no idea of the genre. And I used to say, when you're acting, it's just B-movie acting. And when you're singing, it's your rock and roll dreams come true.